So I'm going to walk you through how I hacked together a pseudo search engine in Ableton Live that is going to help me to really quickly and easily find the samples that I need when I'm working on a track. I've been collecting samples for over 30 years, and I have quite a lot. As you can see here, I have 93,000 single shot drum samples alone. Um, and I've actually lost track of how many of those I've recorded and created, and how many that I've gotten from sample libraries, and how many that I generated from various different drum machines, etc. But anyway, this is a part of a larger project that I'm working on, which is a machine learning model that will demix drum loops and allow you to kind of take some really great old school drum loops or whatever it is that you want to do if you're in a situation where you have a drum loop and you don't want to necessarily chop it up. You actually just want to split it up into the individual channels. This machine learning model that I'm working on will do that for you, but in order for that to happen, I need to have much better categorization of my drums than I do today. Even though I've manually curated so many of these, I still find that I have a high level of inaccuracy, and that is going to cause the model to make mistakes. So I've been using this fantastic application called Cosmos for Waves. It's free. And you probably don't need the solution that I've created here if you're using this application. The only thing that is, kind of not great about it is that it's outside of the live environment, and I just wanted to have some of this capability inside live. But by no means do you need to do what I'm doing here. You can really just work with this application and you'll be totally happy. What I need to do is I need to take a few of these different categorization applications and check to see on what sounds they agree on is what. So if two of these things agree that it's a snare, I'm going to call it a snare and I should have a bit higher accuracy rate. But as you can see here, Cosmos gives us some really great information that's super helpful in working on music. So, it gives you these categorizations. As you can see, my file names don't really help a lot. I didn't name these files in many cases, so they're not really descriptive enough sometimes to let you know what that sample actually is. In this case, we got a really good, well named. We want to drop bass, and we can see that it's a sub bass sound. It's acid. It's electronic. It's monophonic. But if we look, let's say creepy carousel, what does that mean, right? So they give us some good categorizations that are going to help us out. So what I've done is I've taken the Cosmos database and I've worked out their data model, and then I've used that data model in order to rename my files, and then I've embedded the metadata that I've gotten from this application into my file name, which then helps me in live to quickly and easily find the things I want. So, let me just quickly show you something. One of the things that I love that this thing does for you that's super duper awesome is it creates these coordinate maps for you. So this is an XY coordinate map. It creates these clusters of instrument types, right? And then it'll put instruments that sound similar to one another in closer proximity to one another. So super duper useful for doing things like layering. In some cases, I might grab three sounds that are really close together in a cluster here, or maybe if I want to do like a really big, large kind of sound, then I might grab something from the middle, I might grab something from this side, I might grab something from that side, and I should get a lot of sonic textures out of that. That's going to create a really interesting new sample. And that's kind of what my algorithm is going to do. So even though I'm going to pare down a lot of these samples before I build my ML model, I'm going to use those blending techniques to create hundreds of thousands of different sample variations, and then out of that also hundreds of thousands of different loop variations that I'm going to feed into this ML model so that it can understand what does a snare drum pattern look like, or what does a hi-hat pattern look like. So in live, this is what it ends up coming out for me. So one, I've brought all my kicks together. So a lot of these samples, they were strewn all across different sample libraries, and I would have to dive into subfolders to find, to try to look through the 10 kicks there, or go through another folder and find 50 kicks there. The first thing that this did for me was it brought everything into just one nice clean category. And then I embedded the metadata into it, and I can use this to search against all of the different categories simultaneously. So fortunately for me, Ableton Live does allow you to treat search with multiple keywords. This is a little bit of a surprise for me. So I can say like acid and techno. And as you can see here, it filtered down all of those kicks to just things that have been labeled as acid and techno. I can even add like dark here. Oops, let's put that properly. And now I'm getting the things that are a little bit darker. So if I wanted to create a tonal kind of drum kit, then I would have a really quickly easy way in honing in on complementary sounds. Maybe I can use bright. This might bring me some better ones. Yep. So you see I got a lot more samples to choose from here. So really cool for finding things really quickly. The other thing that I can do is, you see, if I sort this by the name, I've worked it out in a way so that you're going to find samples that are in close proximity to one another, because remember, I'm grabbing those XY coordinates from that view that they have in Cosmos. And if we scroll down, you can see the waveforms over here. They're kind of similar. There's some work that I have to do here that's going to make this a little bit more accurate, but for now I think this is really fine for my purposes. And it's just a really quick and easy way to sort through it. So I'll be adding some more features into this as I explore other applications, data. I've got this other one that I'm working with called Synonym. It doesn't seem to be as accurate, but they give me a lot of other great information. And then I can also use some of the Python audio libraries. So I use things like Liberosa to do analysis of the file itself, and I'm going to bake that in there. So there will be things that will tell me how bright the sample is, or kind of what sonic frequencies are going to be in there, and that's just going to give me more things to search against. Anyway, I am considering releasing this as open source code, but it's going to be Python. It's not going to be the sort of thing that just anybody can use, and I really need to figure out, as a part of this larger project or not, whether that's something that's good for me to concentrate on, because the ML model I'm working on is really my main focus here. But anyway, I hope you guys found this useful, and maybe it will inspire other people to figure out other similar solutions, or maybe you just see a different way of working that I enjoy doing. But I hope you found this interesting. Thank you, and